Hello and welcome back to the Quest for Completion. We're on episode 16, and today we have to do Temple of Water, Polybius, basically all of these maps on this entire page. Not this page, this whole page. We had to do all these maps, and there's 4 of them that's being hidden here on Nightmare Hardcore, but probably Ruthless Hardcore, except for Polybius, because, good God, I cannot do this on Ruthless Hardcore. Ignore the completion on Nightmare, I was helping people out. Now then, first map is going to be Temple of Water. Fun little fact about Temple of Water. I looked around for Dundef Planner builds for pretty much everything I was planning to do this episode, and by that I mean I'm going to. I've only looked at it for Temple of Water. And since Ruthless Hardcore released as a difficulty, I guess not Hardcore, but Ruthless, there's been a single build total that goes on this map, and it's from Theo. That's it. Just one build on Ruthless. Which is surprising because, like, people grinded this map a ton, but I guess it just got super outclassed once anything else released at all. So that's a thing. Kind of sucks a little bit, but whatever. I'm sure it'll be fine. There's also some water raising and lowering mechanic on this map that I don't particularly understand. There's a hidden chest over here, like behind this pillar thing, that I also don't really get. There's a lot of things that are really confusing to me, but we'll get through it. I'd say one major advantage between me and everybody else who did this map is that I am not even the slightest afraid to just dump down a DPS hero with like a DPS pet at any crystal. I do not mind that one bit. If it means I can complete the map, I will do that in a heartbeat. I don't give a damn. I'll do micro, I'll do whatever it takes. By the way, I just saw something on the Discord. B, my goat as always. Developer on the game is planning on making a change where you can completely remove the audio from your splits, so you only have audio from like whatever screen you're looking at, I think. Which would be amazing. That would be so awesome. B, I would love you until the end of days, even more so than now if you were to do that. But yeah, that might be getting added to the game, and I'm very, very excited for it. A lot of great changes coming to Dungeon Defenders in recent years, and I love to see it, man. This game, oh, even back in the day in its old state where it was a crappy emulator, well, not crappy for its time, but at the moment a bit crappy, it was really good. But now, oh my god, it's great to see the game get the love that it deserves. Just to see if I can more than anything else, I want to dump down a couple of owl nests at each crystal for one main reason, which is aggro, or not aggro, HP. Basically, I don't know if my Warden Towers will survive being pummeled, even if they have a Forest Golem. I think they would need like a Nature Pylon to survive. But I have pretty good confidence that Owl Nests, considering, I mean, ignoring the damage reduction, how much HP these guys have? 240k? I think that's probably enough to survive whatever. So I'm hoping that's enough. And also, it can help me boost the survivability of this crystal over here, because the Owl Nest can shoot through walls, so no matter what, that should be fine. Honestly, I don't really know. I'm a bit scared on that crystal, but it's okay. We'll be fine. I'm sure we'll be fine. Now, what hero should I be on for this first wave? Because there's a lot of things to do. By the way, you might notice the map on the left side. That is a map that I'm using because I hate constantly spamming you guys with this. It's not really that much of an issue for a viewer. I mean, at least I don't think it is. But the problem with it is primarily it kills bitrate really badly. So that's why I'm not doing that. Anyways, let's go ahead and start the wave. I'm going to try and get some mana and upgrade these buff beams as much as I can. Looks like about 1,000,000 HP on the archers, which is not that bad, honestly. It's a pretty low amount of health, all things considered. So I think as long as I can get all of my buff beams maxed out, we should just about be fine. There's a few more towers that I'm thinking about placing down. I think a single forest golem at each crystal would just about nail in the coffin everything, and we should be totally fine afterwards. But we'll see. It actually looks like the enemies are having a lot of trouble getting to the crystals, which is a very pleasant sight, I might say. Oh my god, what's going on over here? Mr. Owlnest, are we... Oh, they can't hit the crystal. What's going on with this map? Seriously, I'm so confused. This map feels like it was made because they made Polybius and they were like, well, let's make a regular map too. And that's it. It does not feel like a map that was made before Polybius. It's like an afterthought of a map. See, okay, now the crystals get lowered, and I guess now the enemies can reach the crystal or something? I don't really understand what's going on here. But I want to make sure that I get each crystal up to like a star-ish, and then we'll go from there. When it comes to the rewards on this map, as far as I'm aware, the only 2 rewards are the Elder Staff, which was back in the day, like way back in the day, a very, very good staff for DPS heroes, and the Undertow, which I don't think has ever been good, but I don't know, maybe I'm wrong on that. Quick question, do you think the Sharkins can go over that little gap there? Because if so, we are in a pickle. I kind of feel like a couple of these areas are just going to be totally fine. Sharkins aside, they should be able to handle themselves very easily. Quick thing about the Sharkins, I'm thinking about placing down a gas trap and like moving it on my Jester on each crystal. But the thing is, I'm also at the same time, I don't really have faith in the gas trap stopping the Sharkins because the gas trap is kind of stupid, and I really doubt that it's going to actually work the way it's supposed to. By the way, I gotta see what's going on over here. What's with the crystal? Oh god, the crystal is following the water level. Does the water level ever rise a good bit? Because if it doesn't, we'll be fine. We have 8 DU left over. What should I use that DU for? Well, we have 9 DU, so in theory I could place down... Yeah, I'll place down a bunch of gas traps. Why not? At least anywhere that I'm a bit concerned about, I'll dump down a gas trap, because I think... Okay, wow. They need to remove this immediately. The dark energy, or you can't place this here. Like, come on. Are you kidding me? The reason for that is pretty much always because your gas traps are too large due to your range on your character, which of course can be bypassed by just going on a Jester, but it's just annoying that you have to go on a Jester for it. Am I the only one that thinks that? Come on. Also, I did not upgrade this buff beam whatsoever. Okay. Second wave, I think things are going to hit the fan. Specifically, the shit will hit the fan. But we'll see. Maybe it doesn't. Probably does, but maybe it doesn't. Why are my towers not making any audio noises? Okay, they are. It's just that the owl nests are completely silent, I guess. Very interesting. Now, how does it look like at each of these other crystals? And why does it feel like I'm moving so slowly? Maybe I've been on other characters for too long. I feel like I'm moving at the pace of dirt. Jesus. Honestly, though, it seems like we're not having any issues whatsoever. I mean, cross your fingers. I mean, this... Okay, actually, looking at it, this crystal is probably going to be in a pickle in a moment, but... We seem to be doing fine, and it seems as though it's primarily mini-ogres, which are kind of a joke to deal with. Most of the time, at least. The Skycopters are getting stuck in the slow auras. I mean, yeah, I don't know. At least on a first glance, it seems as though we will be perfectly fine. A little bit of micro, for sure, but beyond that, no real issues. I also think that placing down these owl nests was probably definitely the move, considering the fact that they can shoot through walls. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Man, Warden is great, but you... Rock! You can't really defeat the infinite HP glitch that Guardian Towers have. So is the crystal just safe now down here? Okay, so that crystal is down all the way, and I have to bet, if I had to bet, I should say, this crystal down here is also... Yeah, this thing can probably be damaged, maybe by a big ogre or something, or archers. And I imagine the crystal over here is also damageable. This is very confusing. There's a lot of build time, and I really like that, but this map is really confusing me right now. Well, I'm going to not think about it and just upgrade all of my owl nest to maximum and pray for the best. I don't think we should have to worry too much about our auras, because I honestly doubt they'll go down. But if they do, I'll be very sad, and we will lose immediately. For the final wave, I'm just going to bring out, like, my Guardian, because I want to guarantee a melee reward, and then an Adept or something, because I want to guarantee a staff. Right now, we could get either of any amount, and I want to guarantee that I get, you know, one of each. But if I was farming the map in the future, I'd probably just go for the sword rewards, because the staff is really outclassed. I think. I don't know, actually. I'm pretty sure. 2 achievements! That's cool. I forgot about that. We got achievements for this. Elder Staff. And a bunch of random rewards. I think those random rewards are because we're doing it on Ruthless more than anything else. Alright, let's see. Elder Staff. We got 2 of them. And, yeah, I don't know. I'll keep one of them, because why not? But Undertow, we got 2 of them as well. And, wow, that's surprisingly pretty good. These are both surprisingly pretty good. I think they have pretty low damage. Yeah, pretty low damage per upgrade, so that's kind of annoying. But they attack really, really fast, so they're pretty good for, like, a Spin Squire or something like that, I think. What? Hello. You're not particularly great, but damn. I was not expecting an Ultimate Plus Armor reward. Huh. Our next map is Spring Valley Escort, except I'm not doing it on Ruthless. The Ogres had literally like 500 million health. I'm going to do it on Nightmare, because we just need the completion. Our secondary character is going to be Monk.5, who I have retrofitted to be a massive hero boost character, and that's literally it. Our third character is going to be our Hermit, who I've given Ethereal Ancient, although I might swap this out for a little wizard. We'll see. We'll see. And then Job Market is going to be here with a Pixie and a Propeller Cat, just to keep everybody alive, and also himself. Bring in our Monk, who is going to be hero boosting, bring in Hermit, and then bring in Job Application. As far as I'm aware, the enemies on Nightmare really don't have that much HP, so this should be more than enough to deal with basically everything really easily. Where's job marker? Here it is. The only problem that I can foresee is getting knocked off the crystal, because that's a fairly likely situation. To be honest, that one probably will happen a lot. But let's just hope that it doesn't, you know? Okay, that was kind of awful, and I don't want to ever do it again. Oh my god, my ears. We're going to respec this guy to be a tower boost man, and we're going to swap out the other heroes for a bunch of Guardian characters. Guardian characters? Guardian summoners, yes. None. Ensnare Strength Drain as usual. Then we're going to swap over to the Series EV, and I don't really want to do this, but I'm going to do this. I'm going to place down a bunch of reflectors around the crystal because I am afraid. I am very, very afraid of the things that could go wrong. I don't even remember where the enemies spawn from, because it actually doesn't show you, but I think it's just from that doorway, and that doorway. So this should be enough reflectors. We've created a kind of gingerbread house yet again. I don't know why I keep doing that. Tower-wise, I think it's going to be a very simple shroom pit, a couple of cloud towers, and a couple of withstands. And cloud towers facing towards every area where I think there's enemies coming from. 3 of them should do just about fine, and then 1 towards the back just in case. Shroom pit, withstand, withstand. Alright, very cool. Oh my god, the rewards came in instantly. Jesus. Nightmare Egg Escorter. Very, very cool. Let's see what kind of garbage we got there. 8 free-range chickens, which I thought you only got 4 of. Very interesting. 2 chicken ballers. Or no, we should get 4 chicken ballers. Yeah, we have an Ultimate Plus, Ultimate 93, and then this one. They actually... surprisingly decent stats on a lot of these, but certainly nothing that we should care about. I'll keep the Ultimate Plus one because I want to keep one of every weapon in the highest rarity that I get it. Agnator 3000. I'm pretty sure this is like a complete joke of a weapon, but cool, we got that. And a bunch of accessories, which, wow, would you look at that. They are hot garbage. Time for Emerald City, and my god, this map is... it's very interesting. As a starting point, you get 500 seconds of build time, which is like kind of insane. You don't need 500 seconds, but you get 500 seconds, which is fairly nice. The secondary thing is that the boss, it spawns over here in that tornado area, and it's like really easy to cheese as long, well, not cheese, but kill, as long as you are prepared for it. You need to like actually use your brain, unfortunately, which I know for many of us Dungeon Defenders players, that's kind of a deal breaker most of the time, but trust me, just as long as you have any kind of ranged DPS, you'll be fine. Hell, you could probably kill it with just towers if you want to do that, but I'm not going to do that. Anyways, the build that I'm using is kind of an adapted version of somebody else's build. There's only one build that I saw for this map on Ruthless Hardcore, so, you know, to give you some idea of how outdated this stuff is, that's like, this is the only build for Ruthless Hardcore that I could find. But it's still, like, perfectly fine, at least on Dungeon Planner. I'm sure Theo has made a video on it, but basically what we're going to do is, I think towards the back here, we're going to place all of our towers. You'll see why later, because it's adapted, that's why we're doing that. But over here, this part stays pretty much unchanged, like, at all. We're going to dump down a tower buff beam, a little something like that should do just about fine. And then we're going to dump down a 3DU physical beam, something like that, making sure it's being boosted by the buff beam, that way it survives longer. And then the last one is going to be us placing down a yes. We're going to place down over here around this spot a buff beam with, with owl towers, yes. So, let's go ahead and get the warden towers down first. Over here, nothing, because I'm adapting and replacing everything with owl towers. Over here, I think fairly close to the wall is the best way to do it, but you want to have a shroom pit, a cloud tower facing forward, and a wisp den. Although probably more cloud towers or wisp dens or whatever would be helpful for the final wave, but whatever. Now on the Guardian, what we're going to do is just plant down a bunch of these owl nests right here. I don't think any ogres come from this direction, so that shouldn't really be an issue, or at least not that I remember. And other than that, there's not really much of an issue. Just 4 owl nests and that's enough. And for the very first wave, we're going to babysit this crystal like a ton. Every other crystal should, for the most part, be fine. Maybe the enemies get a few hits off on the crystal, but it shouldn't be that bad. But this one, there's no defenses, so obviously, we have to defend it with our lives. By the way, you might notice that I'm using a different primary weapon than what I normally use. I'm using the Spear of the New Kingdom from Tomb of Etheria, and there's a very specific reason for that. Basically, the boss is really, really far away, so having a weapon for the boss that, splits its shots isn't particularly useful, because, it'll be very far away. And I'm beginning to realize that I might need a gas trap here. In fact, I definitely do. That's unfortunate. Oh well, let's go back to this crystal and continue defending it. You can see, though, the enemies really do plump up like a crazy amount here. So I think probably the best tower here, more than Owl Nest, more than anything else, would definitely just be a bunch of mortar towers, because they have crazy area of effect damage. Now let's get the rest of our towers down. By the way, you might notice my Huntress. Let me show you guys. I've swapped her up a little bit because range DPS. Yep. Because turns out the set that I had on her was literally, other than the pet, it was all stuff that you can wear on a level 83 character. But that's besides the point. Let's go ahead and get the rest of our towers down real quick. We might have to sell an owl nest or two, because I'm not sure that I'm placing the perfect amount here, but either way, we're just going to dump down like a million owl nests here. Try and split them up a little bit, but not really put that much effort into it. And that'll be just about fine. I think that'll be fine. Very quickly, though, we're going to jump on the Huntress, give her a pet, because I totally forgot to give her one before. This will do just fine. Let's dump down a gas trap. Right there should be just about fine. Hopefully the Jins don't take that down, and if they do, I'll be very sad. Next, we're going to do something a bit weird, and we're going to jump onto our Lenny, our summoner, because we want to place down a couple of ogres. Unfortunately, this middle crystal just kind of always has problems, so the ogres, they help out quite a bit in distracting the other ogres, and also Sharkins, and also basically just every single mob that's here. We're going to dump down behind them 2 spiders and a mage, and that'll be pretty much it for all of our minions. I know... You know what, screw it, let's not place the other mage. I know I probably should place down a couple of ogres over where that physical barrier is, but I kind of just don't want to. I don't want to deal with it. One thing I am going to have to do probably is jump on the Jester real quick and move this gas trap. If I can, I'd like to move the gas trap in range of the buff beam here, because that would make life pretty nice. Yeah, okay, that seems about fine. And once we upgrade the buff beam, we will be totally chilling. A thought has occurred in the walnut that I call my brain, which is, for the final wave, because I want to have all 4 heroes out for literally no reason, we're going to have a adept over here who is going to be dealing damage with her pet, and I would prefer her to stay alive, so I'm going to dump down a whole bunch of mage minions over here to keep her alive, and she'll be kind of in the middle of them. Also place down like a spider minion just for fun, as a treat. Oh, I should mention, by the way, very quickly, in terms of what to farm on this map, back in the day, you wanted to farm like the Emerald Halberd as a builder weapon, and then the Emerald Staff both as a builder weapon and also as a generic DPS weapon, and I think that was it. Nowadays, it's just the Emerald Staff as a DPS weapon. It's not a particularly great one, but the builder weapons here, the Emerald Halberd, it just got super outclassed by the Shovel of Spades, the thingamabobber that we get from Lover's Paradise. It is insanely, insanely outclassed. There is no reason to go for a Emerald Halberd. If you get one, it's nice, but you can't get a double stat cap, as an example, and if you can't get that, you're kind of pointless as a tower stat weapon for a monk or an initiate or whatever. For the final wave, obviously as our primary hero, we're going to have our monk. As our secondary, we're going to have our DPS Huntress, who, by the way, I didn't show the cat. Same cat as always. Fun fact, I actually checked the wiki, and getting a cat that... Oh, not the wiki, the Jazz QA site. Getting a cat that has, like, 200 boost is only a 1 in 20 drop rate, so, like, it should be 5 runs. The fact that I haven't gotten one is fairly unlucky, but also I should definitely go back there and get one, because, like, come on. Anyways, one of every weapon, so I'm going to bring out the Guardian, because Guardian's pretty good, and then our last character is going to be the Adept, which I'm not actually decided on if I want to have the Adept with the Eyeball pet, because Adept is really bad pet DPS, or if I want to have the Adept with a, with a Guardian, because I think the Guardian would be better. Ah, screw it, let's give her the eye pet. Why not? I haven't been giving this guy enough love anyways, so... Yes, right here. She will stay here, and she will be protected and safe. Let's hide the other screens, Control G, and let's go. We'll probably have to babysit this middle area a little bit, and probably the same thing with our Huntress area over here, but I'm sure it'll be fine. Okay, boss time. Boss will spawn over here, has no animation cool thing for his spawn, because he's lame and dumb. We're going to stand pretty much right in front of this physical barrier, and we're going to go for a hero boost plus tower boost kill. And considering we have this weapon, I really, really doubt we're going to struggle. Oh, I should get some mana on this character, shouldn't I? Alright, that should be enough mana. Let's place her in her spot. Go on this guy. Tower boost, hero boost, and then go on you. And yeah, we are melting through the boss. Jesus Christ, that Hawk 2 did so much damage. The physical barrier is too powerful. And we're done. And we're done. Very, very easy boss. Oh my god, my ears. Nightmare Emerald Explorer, let's go. You get an accessory set from this map. It's a fairly neat one. It has a pretty cool visual effect, but nothing beyond that, not really. Ooh. Really low HP, but that's going to be nice for a builder if I want to do it. Emerald Staff, wow, that rolled with really good stats, Jesus. Funnily enough, that's actually an upgrade compared to what we have on our current character. That's pretty neat. Emerald Halberd, just outclassed. Emerald Thrower, I'm pretty sure is also outclassed. And the Emerald Sword, how much damage is per upgrade? Not bad, but I'm pretty sure it's outclassed by everything else. They all give movement speed bonus, but other than that, nothing unique. Wow! Okay. The accessories are, of course, an RNG fest, but today, my friends, we have one. Now we gotta go back and do Magus Citadel. We haven't been on this map in, like, forever. Jesus Christ. I don't have a very good build in mind, I just have a build in mind for this map. So, fair warning, nasty bullshit chicanery is gonna happen. It's gonna be a aura stack, you know, minus the electric at each crystal. Then let's grab all of the mana, because we have so much build time, oh my goodness. And then here is where things get a little bit strange. Basically, there's funky enemies on this map, and I don't really want to have to think about the enemy types. But you basically want to place down a reflection beam at each crystal, unless you're really confident in your stats, which I am really unconfident in my stats, so that's not going to be happening. Down here, yet again, we want to place a reflection beam, and then probably a reflection beam back here as well, along with a buff beam right there. And then something very, very weird, we're going to dump down over here a 5U physical barrier. That should do just about fine. Although, frankly speaking, I should probably move the stack of towers back farther. Let's just hope that's fine. Next up is going to be my piece de resistance, my piece de resistance. We're going to go on our Guardian, and of course, dump down Owl Towers and just hope that things work out. Because they have enough HP to survive on their own, and if they don't, I will be sad. How many Owl Towers? I think this top area should be fine with like 5 of them, and then the rest of them will just be dumped down in this exact spot right here. Might want to place down a few gas traps here and there to help deal with the Sharkins, but we'll see. We'll see. Let's go ahead and jump onto our main monk and finish the wave. Now that the first wave is done, we're going to start seeing the gimmick of the second wave, which is you get like fireball towers and stuff. Wait, do we see the gimmick? We do, yeah. We get like fireball towers and magic strikers? No. What is it called? The whatever towers this character has. Magic missiles, yeah. Nothing really hard to deal with, just a little bit annoying. Dump down an owl nest and another owl nest there. I think that's actually 6 over there, so that's probably a bit overkill, but whatever. And then the rest of our towers, of course, we're just going to dump down here and pray for the best. That should be fine. Oh my god, what's going on over here? Maybe I place a Holy Bulwark on top of these towers. You know what? No, I totally should. I totally should. I will. These reflectors, funnily enough, one of the very few maps, in fact, maybe the only map in the game where having the reflectors a bit more health, upgrading them, might be useful. A very strange... Is that a reflector kill? Oh my god, 3 reflector kills. Wow. That's a rarity in these days. You know what, let's sell this guy out here, the odd one out, and then we'll place down 2 Holy Bulwarks. Yes, 2 of them. Oh wait, should we place down 2? Oh no, I have a better idea. We'll place down 1 Holy Bulwark over here, because, you know, usefulness. And then down here, we're going to place down... Oh, 8 defense units for an Empowering Shrine. Ah, whatever. I guess we're placing down a Holy Bulwark, like, in front of this area over here. Call it a day. Why is it not in the buff beam? Because I'm too lazy to put it in one. You don't normally see anybody doing this, because there's no reason to, but we are moving a tower. Like, actually a regular tower. Not a trap, not an aura. We're moving a regular tower to save ourselves a little bit of time. The Holy Bulwark is being placed inside this physical barrier, or next to it. That way it can maybe support us or something. The Jewel Encrusted Sword that you get from this map is actually a fairly good tower stat weapon. Like, you can double cap, 1 in 300,000, so not particularly great. But it can double cap, and it also gives you movement speed, which is really nice. Final wave, alright. Final wave I'm going to leave on the other characters. So there's 3 weapon rewards on this map. There's one for a melee character, monk, and also one for an adept. There isn't one for a huntress, but I am going to bring in a huntress anyways. So here's going to be the setup. We're going to have our DPS huntress, because DPS is very nice. Whoops, that's actually not a DPS huntress. And there's the real DPS huntress. Completely misnamed, but whatever, I'll fix that later. We're going to bring in our guardian, because, you know, I want to get all the weapon types. And our last character, what should our last character be? I'll write a mage. I don't have an actual mage out yet. I guess I'll place the mage. She could, yeah, she'll go on top of the bulwark or something here. I'll give her a huntress guardian, and she can just stay. Well, actually, it doesn't really matter where she stays, because I just remembered. Yeah, she can stay on this crystal. I'm pretty sure her pet will have enough range to reach over to those towers, so we should be good over there. Now let's go ahead and put the rest of our characters where they belong. I should mention, when it comes to weapons worth farming on this map, the melee weapon is actually a fairly good tower booster. Tower stat weapon, yeah. It gives you a 1.1 times movement speed bonus, which is pretty nice, but it can also double stat cap. Granted, not frequently. In fact, it's very rare for it to double stat cap, but it is possible. And even the single stat cap is like a 1 in 100, so it's not that rare, all things considered. I don't know if it's a good DPS weapon, but realistically, there's only like one type of DPS weapon for melee that anybody ever uses, and it's like the Disaster Rapier or any clones of it. I'm pretty sure the Anubis Sandblade actually got added to that list of Disaster Rapier clones, so that's pretty neat. The final boss is going to be a guy who comes from over here. He's going to be some Magus Citadel dude, and apparently his shots can actually damage your crystal, even if he doesn't target it, so that's interesting. We're going to skip the countdown here. He just spawns in as normal. And we're going to try and DPS him down, although this is pretty piss poor range. We're going to try and DPS him down with our this character. Oh my god. He's being an obnoxious thing to kill. There we go. He's stuck on the wall. Hopefully he doesn't jump over it the same way that the Emerald Monk does. Although I wouldn't be surprised if he did. You know what? If he wants to just stay there, make my life easier, I am not upset by that whatsoever. Let's go ahead and pick up some mana. We are dealing a considerable amount of damage with our Huck to us, so I should be doing that more often as well. Oh, Starburst went down. No. Okay. Sure. Okay. He just died, I guess. That's an interesting boss. Do you get 2 rewards per... Oh, I think we may in fact be getting 2 rewards per character. Or no, I just got 2 Ace of Spades. Oh yeah. So these are the same thing as the cardboard tubes, except they have a ton of extra projectiles. And if I remember correctly, let's see, which one of these... Yeah, this one is better because it actually has projectiles. They're pretty neat because they have a ton of extra projectiles. Yeah, like a bajillion of them. Yeah, look at this. Pretty neat. The shot pattern is a little bit dookie, but I mean, if you're like right up and close to an enemy, this is really nice. And also, of course, the shots go through walls. Let me unequip that. Back in the day, it actually used to be like a pretty good mana gathering weapon before you got into the chicken baller area, but no longer. It has since been outclassed, and now it's like mediocre. It is mid AF. Accessories, same as pretty much any other map. You know, if they're good, but probably not. Oh, Archmages, whatever, Lobber. This is also another thing that you get from here. I don't think it's particularly great. Like, it doesn't have really good stats or anything, but it's pretty neat. Let me go test it out on a character. You know what? I take it back. They actually gave it a pretty good shot pattern. It is probably something that's fairly decent. Although farming it probably... Well, farming it's probably pretty easy considering the boss just fucking dies on its own. The time has come to return to the crystalline dimension. So this one's going to be pretty easy. Well, I think it's going to be pretty easy. As long as we have enough tower DPS, it should be very easy because the boss is the only really difficult part about this. It's like 1.5 billion HP with 4 players, crazy damage reductions, just all of the worst things at once. Except here's the thing. It's a ground boss. And what is it going to do to our towers if it can't get to our towers? So the build is going to be height. We will take advantage of the height of these crystals and then just go from there. It seems to be, at least from what I've tested out, that as long as you can get up there on this map, if you can get up there, then you can build up there. So like, we're gonna abuse the hell out of this one. This one right here, this build, I'm actually a big fan of this one because it uses a few things. First of all, jump on that chest and then just barely make it up here. And then you can build on top of like this crystal right here. Except the thing is, you can't build down there. But look at this. Let's say I hover over here and I use my tower stacking. Stupid shit, man. There's no real reason to make this 5 DU. We can get away with 6 DU, so it'll be fine. We save a lot of DU by just not placing down any gas traps. And of course, we don't need to place down any gas traps because of the fact that we have, whatchamacallit? We have the, none of our towers are on the ground, so they can't get affected by the Sharkins. Alright. That's all the auras. Now let's move on to the actual, like, you know, tower part of the build. Right here we can go a little bit stupid mode because, well, cloud towers. So, 1 Shroom Pit, 1 Withstand, and then just, like, 3 cloud towers facing the crystal. And that should be fine. Over here, to a lesser extent, but still, you know, still staying true to it, we can place down a Shroom Pit, and then a Withstand, and then just a bunch of cloud towers facing towards the crystal. Although we'll angle them here and there. But that should be enough. And then, of course, the last spout over here. Let me get up there. I whiffed. Terrible at the game. A Shroom Pit, probably 2 Withstands here, and then 2 cloud towers. So a Shroom Pit, 2 Withstands, and then 2 cloud towers facing towards the crystal. Maybe 1 facing down here. Nah, let's make it facing toward the crystal. That'll do fine. Really nice part about this map is you have so much mana, and of course, 600 seconds to build, which, if you ask me, is a little overboard. But are you going to see me complaining? Hell no, you will not. Hey, you know, hold on. So, okay, one thing. Obviously, you want to place down, like, forest golems and whatnot at each place, but... Huh? Excuse me, sir? Why'd you fall down? Oh, I bet the game doesn't want you to summon up here. So it'll drop the forest golems down. That might be a problem. Because we do need them. They provide damage reduction. They provide damage reduction. And damage reduction, very useful. No, okay, we could plant one up here. But not over there for some reason. I can't imagine a reason why we couldn't put one over here. Yeah, that works fine. Just for some strange reason. Maybe because it's like too thin of a point or something. Yeah, it's very funny. He just slips through. Either way, though, I was going to do this no matter what. We're going to place down a nature pylon somewhere on this area. Although it looks like I actually can't place it directly on the towers because I didn't do tower stacking with it. Whoops. Oh, wait. Yeah, there we go. And these are just to make sure that the towers stay alive. If we were just on the Guardian, I wouldn't really be concerned about anything. I wouldn't really be concerned about anything because the Guardian can just, you know, tank everything. But we're not, so I am concerned. Can I even place a pylon up here? I can. Man, that's so stupid. And now the last thing we are going to place down is on our Guardian. You probably already saw this coming, but just in case we get spitballs and whatnot, and they'll eventually damage our towers a bunch, I want to place down a Holy Bulwark at pretty much every area, although I'm beginning to realize that I should have put a bit more thought into it, but whatever. I don't think you can place bulwarks on top of forest golems for some strange reason, but I can place them up here. And everywhere else we should be fine. Alright, whatever, that'll have to do. We have 2 DU left over. Is there anything we can do with that? Probably not. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and swap to our monk. We'll be on him as our primary character. And then as our secondary character, of course, will be the adept, with whom we are going to upgrade all of our towers to maximum. Oh, final wave. My god, I was talking to Theo. So, let me do some things. What should we have as our primary character? Probably this guy, right? It's going to be a bit of a weird one. I'm not entirely sure what to do. I don't know why I dropped my mana. I'm not really paying much attention. We'll have this genie out because we're going to be tower boosting and hero boosting with this guy primarily. And our big DPS dealer is going to be our Huntress right here. Other than that, I think we're going to have our Barb with a Huntress Guardian, and he's going to... Whoops, wrong character. Barbarian, sorry, I got lost in thought. You know, I was speaking to Theo. It's just requires so much brain power. Just kidding. Maybe not just kidding. Don't take it as a mean thing if you're listening to this, Theo. I apologize. What's the last character? All right, Adept. So let's go ahead, take the Adept, give her a Guardian pet, dump her on top of that last spot, and call it a day. Why do you have negative HP? You do not. Let's do this one. I really hope she doesn't fall off, but honestly, she might just slip off of the map. Oh, she's slipping now. Okay, get back up there. No, no, get back. Get back. Please. I may have goofed. I have goofed. I may have required a bit more thought about where I place my towers. Because not being able to get up here sure does suck. Monkey nuts. Ah, whatever. The pet has range. I'm sure over here it'll be fine, probably. Oh wait, I need to swap my main character, my secondary, right? Big Spider Queen with awful background audio that's been going on for the entirety of this map. Seriously, the background audio sucks monkey nuts here. Alright, let's see. She was aggroed on a wall for a while there, which is certainly interesting. Let's go ahead and on our monk, start hero boosting and tower boosting. Although I don't know if I should be hero boosting. Probably shouldn't. And then let's just aggro her, hopefully in the right way, so that she'll just die over time here. And then I just back up here. And then all things are well in the universe. And ideally, that just keeps my mana up. And every once in a while, she gets like, you know, hit my crystal, please. And then I'm like, oh, okay, I will. And then I hit her crystal, and then everything goes well, right? I should be doing this, right? Haktua. Well, we seem to be dealing with it pretty well. By it, I mean her. That was a lot of things. Very cool. Very, very cool. And that is it for Crystalline Resurgence Part 1. Took a bit of a long time. Probably not the ultimate strategy, but we got through it. So we get the rewards that we get are the hard version or easy to hard rewards that you would get from Misty Mire, which for most of them is whatever. I don't really care. Except, ignore the crystal guns. The Hasatat's Recurve. This one, very good mana gathering weapon. Not anymore, but back in this day, there was an event item version, and that was really good. But now it's just like pretty okay. Also, you get crystal guns, which I don't really know if these are good weapons, or if they're good tower weapons, or frankly speaking, I just don't know anything about them. But I guess I'll keep this one. Oh, and the Spiderling Cleaver. Okay, there we go. That's all 4 of the weapons, I think. Let's hope I don't sell anything I want to keep. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Very nice. Why don't I show you guys what I mean by this having been like a goated weapon? What the fuck? It's weird. I'm not used to that. Having been a goated weapon in its time. So basically, it just shoots a beam, and it's like a kind of hard to define shot area, but you can see it hits pretty fast. In fact, this one is... I think this one is hitting a bit slower than it should, which I'm not sure why, but... it goes through walls, hits multiple enemies, hits pretty fast. I mean, you can see why this would be pretty good, right? But yeah, it's outclassed now, but back in its day, it was amazing. Behold the villain, Nightmare Resurgence Part 2. We're doing this on Nightmare, and I'm also not going to do it with 4 heroes, one of every type, because I'll do that later, alright? I'll do that later. For the moment, I just want to get my 1 completion and be done with it. So that's all we're going for here. And it's mainly because the boss just kind of sucks monkey nuts. Here's a rundown. Immune to any generic damage, just at all. And then only takes elemental damage. And you're thinking, okay, well that's pretty bad. But there's got to be, you know, it probably takes more damage to elemental. Nope. Actually takes less damage to everything, including elemental. So the one weakness he has isn't a weakness, it's just his weakest point. But it's not a weakness. It's like trying to fight Mike Tyson in the ring, except like... Anyways, the build is going to be pretty easy and pretty damn simple because it's just a very easy map. This one, Guardian Towers, very nice. Very, very nice. The Guardian Towers are very nice, and I'm frame skipping a lot, which is very annoying, and I'm not a fan of it, but I'll deal with it. We're going to do a bit of a funky thing. So every crystal that's on the side, like these guys over here, we're going to dump down a tower buff beam like that from one of these top sharp spike things over to the crystal. And for the other crystals, the ones that are in the middle, we're going to go really, really far back and then dump down a tower buff beam. 4D should do just about fine. And there's a couple of reasons for that, but primarily the biggest reason, more than anything, is just we want to make sure that the ogres who will get to our towers are never going to hit the crystal. And as long as they're aggroed on something that they can reach, they won't go for the crystal. Or at least, probably not. I've a bit of murky waters in the testing area, but probably. Unfortunately, we are going to require a Huntress for this build because, well, gas traps, the regular chump mobs are probably not going to die in time, so I need the gas traps. Although, frankly speaking, maybe I could get away without the gas traps. I don't know. But I'm lazy. I know that. I am lazy, so I'm still going to have the gas traps there because with the gas traps, lazy maxing. I tried having my buildings on Ruthless Pure Strategy. On Ruthless Pure Strategy, no, on regular Ruthless. I tried having my towers, like, on the ground normally. But the problem is Sharkins are, I don't want to call them bugged, but they're dumb as balls. They need to, so the devs need to hit them with a rebalance or some shit. Because regardless of gas trap or not, once they're wound and ready to charge, they'll just go and ignore every single gas trap on the way. Here is my piece de resistance, whatever that means. We're going to place down 2 owl nests at each crystal along with a holy bulwark, and we're going to make damn sure that it is really, really far away from the crystal itself because, well, those towers are going to get hit, but the holy bulwark will keep them alive, and also the fact that they're, you know, HP scaling, so they have 1,000,000 HP. And then on top of that, the holy bulwark will also keep alive our auras and pretty much everything else. So they'll deal damage, not a lot, but they'll deal enough, and that'll deal with the wave perfectly fine. And I just remembered something else. I actually, for each of these top and bottom crystals, I want to place down a, whatchamacallit, facing straight backwards. Whoops, did not mean to sell that. Oh, well. I want to place down a holy cannon, yeah. Not sure that it does anything, to be entirely honest. I don't think it does. But I want it there just in case. Because what if it does do something, you know? You never know. I gotta be real. Whenever I do a map over and over again, especially when I'm failing, I'll just forget to do things. I'll develop dementia mid-run, and then I'll just not place down something. And then obviously, you know, that's not particularly great for succeeding. That one might be too high. I'm beginning to think that that's potentially too high. Probably not for the ogres, but maybe. You know what's funny? You have 600 seconds of build time, but on this map, it kind of feels like you need 600 seconds of build time, because holy hell, there's just... It's a massive map, even if you're taking advantage of the portals and everything, which I will admit right now, I'm not doing that. But even if you were, it would still blow. It would be pretty bad. By the way, I will always be mad at this map for not being symmetrical, both horizontally and vertically. Also, I'm swapping to my gesture because At least for this top and bottom crystal, you don't need to do this. In fact, it may hurt you more than it helps you. But for the side crystals, moving the gas traps closer to the crystal does help out quite a bit when it comes to making sure that the crystal doesn't get hit. Although honestly, on Nightmare, I don't really know how useful that is, because I kind of doubt it matters on Nightmare. I'm gonna keep it a buck. You know what's weird? My brain is perfectly fine saying Nightmare, right? I could just say Nightmare on its own. But the moment it comes time to say, like, Ruthless Pure Strategy... See, that right there. I did it right there. When it comes time to say Ruthless, my brain just doesn't understand it. It's like, okay. We mean Ruthless Pure Strategy. Right? It always thinks there's something that's supposed to follow it afterwards, right? Ruthless Hardcore, Ruthless Pure Strategy, Ruthless whatever. It can't just be Ruthless. But Nightmare can just be Nightmare. Isn't that weird? Maybe it's because I'm so conditioned from having Nightmare as the only difficulty for so long. Oh, hold on. Before I do that, let me show you guys the hero I'm going to have out for the boss. It is a Countess that I made however long ago. She has a fairy that has ability 2, and basically her whole thing is ability 2. Ability 1 you want to have a decent amount of, but it's mainly ability 2 for the damage dealing because it does pure fire damage, and it's pretty good. Sword is really crappy on her, everything else is pretty crappy on her, but all she needs to do is stay alive and do the joust ability every once in a while. That's it. There's a thing I noticed in a couple of earlier maps. I can't say which ones off the top of my head, but I know in a couple of the earlier maps there was a mechanic where on the boss wave itself, a certain type of enemy stopped spawning, or the enemy started spawning more slowly, or this or that, which helped out quite a bit with completing the map, because, I mean, having, like, I think one of them is, like, ogres just don't spawn on the boss wave or something like that. But having a feature like that would be really nice on this map, because, goddamn, the boss just sucks nuts. Hello. This guy, even on Nightmare, or Ruthless, doesn't really do that much damage. I do like that he just kind of walked up to me. I could tell from the very first second he appeared on my screen exactly what his intentions were. There were no questions. By the way, something I learned, the Holy Bulwarks, they heal themselves. Which is, like, I thought their whole thing was that they heal others, but not themselves, but no, they heal everything. So, basically, best tower in the entire video game. You know, it'd be kind of cool to see. If somebody out there, one of you crazies, wants to have, like, a good Dungeon Fighter's video, take this one from me. Doing, like, I don't know, let's say, doing the old one on Nightmare Hardcore, except you are not allowed to use any unique weapon rewards. It's all gotta be, or weapon, armor, whatever it is. It's all gotta be, like, generic stuff. That would be pretty neat, I think. Final wave, we're gonna have as our primary character, of course, that Countess I brought up earlier, which, I never realized how many points you get from leveling, but goddamn, only 470 for a level 83 character just feels criminal. Although I guess it's not really that much experience. And then, of course, as our backup, and oh, I really hope we don't have to do it on this guy, but as our backup, we're gonna have this guy right here, our Tower Boost monk. Well, not Tower Boost, our generic usage monk. Alright, so here's the rundown. Call to Arms will boost my hero DPS, but mainly it'll boost my damage reduction, because even though I have 90s, this boss just does a lot of damage, so that'll help. Fairy is also to help me stay alive, and then we're just going to be spamming the Countess Joust, and that's pretty much it. Boss spawns right here. You can tell he spawns here because the Genial Lamp is on this side, and also you can see the red portal over there. I'm going to press V to skip the timer, and oh my god, look at that. He looks like he is oiled up, and he's getting freaky with it. Let's go ahead and... Ow! That hurt, but not that much. Yeah, the damage is pretty alright. Oh my god, that's the really bad one. I should be moving though. I should be trying to stay alive by moving a lot more. Jesus Christ, my ears. Oh my god, that is a golden ogre. You stay the hell away from me. I don't really want to go in when we're not doing, you know, jousting, so I won't. But I'll just drop a poopy fire every once in a while and call it a day. Hell, this might just kill him right now. Hell yeah! Let's go. Of course, we'll go back to this map later on with 4 characters and yada yada yada, but for the moment, that's my completion. Alright, we need to move on to the next map. 500 seconds, good god. Jade Sphere. Interesting. Why do we get multiple? What's going on? Huh? Oh, wait, right. You get a dedicated weapon reward for each of these. Right, and then it's the Scimitar, and then the Falchion. Which, funnily enough, this one is actually better than the current weapon I have by a, like, massive margin. Like, a really big margin. I just can't use it. Time for part 3. The big map where I'm kind of a little bit afraid, but I have confidence in spirit. Okay, so we're doing this on Nightmare as well, because frankly speaking, if you couldn't do the last one on Ruthless, we probably can't do this one. It's going to be a simple electric, strength drain, and slow aura at each crystal. Nothing particularly crazy. There is a secret on this map. I don't remember what it is, but I will have to do the secret because that's one of the requirements to unlock True Boss Rush. And also, I just want to complete it and unlock it. Now that I think about it, I probably have to do this map on Ruthless to unlock that secret thing. Or maybe I don't. I don't remember. It's been a while. Either way, I want to try it, so we're going to do it. In a build that I saw for this map, they placed down a Strength Drain aura along with a Healing aura up here. Not sure why, but we'll see. Now, I don't remember where they placed it themselves, but we're going to dump down a 40U Tower Buff Beam like... Or over here is probably fine, something like that. That should probably be fine, hopefully. And then everywhere else, it's going to be the same classic strategy of, you know, win because towers have too much HP to die. And I don't think we should really have to worry about Sharkins or anything because of the fact that, well, we're on Nightmare and, you know, Sharkins don't really have that much HP, all things considered. I've seen people build, like, between these crystals, and that's probably a good move, but lazy. I'll just build, like, behind stuff. And as long as we're not near our crystals with the buildings or the buff beams, it should work out just fine. So up here, what I saw somebody do was place down a Seed Bomb Tower facing the crystal, which to me sounds like a very good idea, because frankly speaking, I have a feeling things will leak through to this middle crystal, and being able to deal with them would be very nice. Everywhere else, I think we can get away with the exact same build that I've done before, of 2 Owl Nests and a Holy Bulwark. Oh my god, wait, I can just dump this anywhere. That's interesting. No collision whatsoever. You know what build I'd like to see? Just like 50 Holy Bulwarks on top of each other. I know their healing probably doesn't stack because healing rarely ever stacks, but that would be really cool. Last set of towers over here, and oh my god. No. I was gonna say we have so much DU left over, but no, we have one more set of towers to do. Alright, there we go. Now, this is more in line with what I expected in terms of leftover DU. In fact, we have so much leftover DU that I'm going to place down a slow aura at the top because I have 0 faith in things going well. What other things could I do with towers? I know there's like a boss thing, so let me go check where the boss spawns to decide if I want to place down a empowering shrine thing or not. Oh, we can't. Oh well. In that case, I'll just dump down a Holy Bulwark up here. Dump him directly on top of that tower. Call it a day. Alright, let me go see if that secret is something I have to do right now, or if I can do it later. Okay, so it looks like we actually, like, can't do the secret thing on this map because of the fact that we haven't done the map yet, so we'll have to do it yet again. But apparently... Yeah, this. Yeah, okay. We'll have to complete this map and also do Poly, and then we can do this. The secret. But that also means I don't have to worry about any kind of a secret, which is pretty nice. You know, I'm beginning to think that the owl nests are like crazy... The game crashed. Alright, well that sucked. So, I'm just gonna go ahead and repeat it again. And by the way, I just swapped up my headset for earbuds, and now everything just sounds weird. Very weird. I don't know how to describe it. Final wave. My god, my voice sounds so weird. And we're gonna go on to our old but good Countess, or not Countess, sorry, Huntress. Propeller Cat, the crummy one that I really need to replace. And she has no accessories, god damn it. There we go. Now there's a couple of reasons I want to go on this character, but if I had to say, the main one is just for the fact that the boss in here is going to be a dragon who's just going in circles constantly. And this thing, you know, The distance isn't that big, but it should be enough that it does very good DPS. And of course, Hawk Shot, or Piecing Shot, whatever. That will do pretty well. Also, the secondary boss is going to be a Kraken. Basically, we get the primary boss, the dragon up here, down to below like 50% HP, or around that point, and then he becomes invincible, and then there's a Kraken. Then we kill the Kraken, then kill the dragon, and that's it. And the entire time there's going to be like Demon Lords spawning in, but I highly doubt they can take down my towers. I would be surprised. I mean, they could, but I'd be surprised. Skip the timer. Do we get a cool intro thing? Oh my god, the fucking crystal noises. We do. Why are his legs on fire? Seriously, why are his legs on fire? Alright, let's see. Yeah, okay, we're whooping his ass. As long as those fireballs aren't too bad, which they don't seem to be. Oh my god, the Kraken's already spawned in. We seem to be doing alright. Where is the Kraken? It is on top of us. The Kraken is going to be a bit more of a unique case, because he actually kind of whoops ass. Except, so do we, because Hawkshot. As long as we keep that Hawkshot going, we should be just about fine. The Hawkshot, if I can angle it perfectly, it can get like basically all of his tentacles in one go. But I'm gonna keep it a buck, that's not gonna happen. We're mostly relying on the spread on the forest rifle shots, more than anything else. Oh my god, what a fucking menace. Alright, cool. And now back to the dragon, who should die in a very short time frame. Nope, there we go. Not too bad. Of course, we'll come back here. Ruthless pure strategy. Not pure strategy. Goddamn. Hardcore later on. But for the moment, that's enough. Oh, we got achievements. Right. Return to Crystalline Dimension. I got scared by that. Part 4. Is this necessary? I think it is. I don't remember. Part 4 is going to be a bit weird. I mean, even in the campaign it was weird, but now it's going to be even more weird. You'll see what I mean in a moment, but basically, we are going to do a mega stack of towers here. I'm talking literally every single aura that we can. And then that's going to be it for the auras. We're going to place down one nature pylon, just a single one, right about here. And then I think on this side, we want to have something like that, because we need to defend against ogres that come from over there. And I think that should be fine. Now we go on to our EV, and we place down a tower buff beam from this spot over to the middle, or wherever, really. And then we're going to go, of course, I mean, who would have thought, right? We're going to go to our Guardian and place down a Holy Bulwark and a whole bunch of other bullshit. Actually, very quickly, do I want to have an Empowering Shrine in the middle? I probably do. We'll place one down. But otherwise, place down one of these guys, and then just as many owl nests as we can. Oh, we have 5D left over. My goodness, that's a rare sight. I guess I'll place down a holy cannon facing towards the crystal. I don't really know what else I'd do with it, to be honest. Now, you might be thinking you want to go on a builder for the next wave. No. 5 enemies? That's because they're awful enemies. Huntress. Our DPS Huntress, we're going to be on her. Very basic stats, you know, nothing particularly crazy. Our secondary character for this entire thing is probably going to be Monk 0.5. I have respect him ever so slightly, so that he now has hero boost on top of tower boost. But those are both going to be very, very nice for just overall damage increase. We probably want to max out this buff beam before we start the first wave. But I'm lazy, so I'm not going to bother. Control G, start tower boost and hero boosting on this guy. Oh. And then go back on you. And just take everything down really, really fast. That's pretty much it. The main threat, if not the only threat really, are the ogres. And as long as we're tower boosting, those really aren't that much of an issue. Alright, now we just have the dragon, who is currently doing a series of attacks that I think... Oh, come on! I whiffed. I whiffed hard. Okay, there we go. That time I hit. Dead on. Oh, hello. Alright, this time we're actually going to go kind of in the middle area with this dude. Excuse me, sir. And we're going to hero boost kind of in the direction of this big man so that we can do a little bit of this. Oh wow, we didn't even need to huck to it. Jesus. But yeah, that's going to be the cycle for the waves up until the end, pretty much. Let's go in the middle area. Tower hero boost on top of tower boosting. And just run over. Oh my god. I was gonna say run over and kill the boss, but no. That seems to be partially optional. That it? That seems to be it. Oh, right, this guy. We also got a Kraken. Did you move my towers? You moved my Bulwark. That's fine. Bulwark is expendable. As long as we land a good Hawk to it, this guy goes down pretty easily. But that does rely on landing a good Hawk to it, which is easier said than done. Oh my god, you displaced my heroes so poorly, or so strongly. You are a dickwad. I think we just got unlucky with the angle of the boss spawn there. Most of the time it's not that bad. There we go. That was pretty awful. I'm not excited to do this on Ruthless with 4 characters, by the way. That is nerve-wracking, let's say. The very thought of that is very unappealing to me. My god, the Hawk Tua does so much damage. That's kind of crazy. I think we actually get 2 of them at this point. The Spider Queens. Alright, there we go. Final wave, we're going to swap things up a bit. Namely, okay, so there's going to be a Kraken. It's going to be all 4 bosses except for the dragon, I think. Or maybe it is the dragon. No, the dragon is also there. But it's going to be all 4 of the quest shard bosses, along with the dragon. And that's mostly it. But they just have, like, way more damage and HP and stuff like that, so it's going to kind of suck. First things first, though, we can absolutely obliterate her. No matter what. I mean, it's still the Spider Queen, even if she does, like, have more resistance or whatever. She still dies, like, surprisingly fast. Oh my god, my ears. Hey, does she get webbed? I think she does. I guess that makes sense. I'm now tower boosting. We'll be swapping between hero boosting and tower boosting as we go through this entire thing. Alright, very cool. Now then, I don't think the genie bottle is up yet, so we can't do that. So I guess, yeah, I'll just wait till the, till whatchamacallit is ready, till the Kraken is alive, because that's going to take all of my focus and attention for a while here. The Kraken is a very tough one to deal with. I'll do the genie, why not? Oh, oh my god! I get why not to do the stuff that I did. Alright, as long as we can get this guy down, we'll be chilling. But we need to make sure that he gets downed. That spitball, by the way, absolutely will one-shot me. Okay, okay. I am now 80% less concerned. Oh, don't tell me he's immune to... Yeah, okay, he's immune to non-generic damage. That would also explain why he's dealing so much damage himself. Alright, Mr. There we go. My pet's actually dealing some damage now. Oh, okay. Now that he's in the bottle, we can recuperate our brain power just for a second. By the way, the dragon has like 500 million HP with one character, so that's going to be awesome. Oh, and he does one-shot, like everything. His jaw snap ability doesn't quite one-shot me, but it gets very close. And the fire breath one-taps me. There's everything one-taps me, honestly. Let's get Senor Asshole out of El Bottle. I have no idea where the bottle is. Oh, doesn't matter. At least our pet doesn't deal, like, mega ass damage like it used to. Well, actually, no, it still does. I'm just noticing it less. Where'd he go? There he is. Is this the end of him? One could only hope. Oh god, that's going to deal a lot of damage if it catches up to me. Oh, thank god. Alright. Boy, boy. Boy, boy? Joy boy? We have Polybius after this, by the way. I don't want to do, like, 2 separate videos for Poly and the other thing, so... We have Poly after this, which is going to be very interesting. I just realized you can hit this guy while he's normally not damageable. That's interesting. Alright, we're going to keep our distance because he whoops ass. Like, he just does so much damage. I'll try and get, like, relatively close, but I'm never going to get close enough for him to bite me or do the fire breath attack or anything like that. I'll get decently close, but not much more. At least his fireballs don't deal that much damage, you know? Silver lining. Oh. That was rough. That was really rough. Oh yeah, the mini Kraken. I forgot about that. You get this at the end. Gargoyle Staff, which I believe this is the same as the Moon Staff, but like larger area of effect, so that's pretty neat. Kraken is, I'm pretty sure, a very good DPS weapon, and yeah, okay, that's it. Oh. Oh. Oh, Eternal Defender. Okay, there's gonna be a trophy here in the future, or somewhere, but here's the thing. We got a set of accessories, or we're going to, that's like really neat, but I can't use it, obviously, because I don't technically have Eternal Defender. I helped out somebody doing Temple of Polybius on Nightmare earlier, and it just kept the save. But I still haven't technically done it, so I need to go back and do this. But technically we have the thing, but not really. I think if I just go to a mission and like go back, I can show you guys the rewards. Nope, there it is. Celebration, Defenders, and Party Hat. Where's the Mega Trophy? Oh my god. Okay. And here's the accessories, for the record. I don't think you can sell them, but I'm going to lock them just in case. Just really, like, I mean, they're just great. You know, there's not much to say about it. They're just really good. The time has come for Temple of Polybius. But before that, a quick loot montage. Ooh. Oh. Oh. Eh. It's okay. Ooh. Hello. Bruh. Yeah, I guess I can use it on a Series EV or something. Oh. That negative fire is a bit rough, but otherwise it's pretty good. So yeah, I did Temple of Anubis and a bit of armor farming in Almanac, and I got a pretty decent set of armor, a pretty crappy Anubis sandblade. I mean, Supreme, what you can expect, but still, we don't need anything more than this to do Polybius. The better gear that you have, the easier you'll do it. And you might be asking, right, hey, why don't you just go ahead and use this one that you got, right? This one's way better. In fact, why don't you go use the, what's-it-called, this guy right here? This one's even better. The answer is because I'm lazy. That's it. I'm just very lazy. I can't be bothered. That's pretty much as that's all I can really say. Obviously, I could XP farm this character to like, 100 and then equip all that stuff and be way better. But if I can do it on this crummy character, you guys can do it on whatever. So let's get into it. The first part of Polybius is a assault challenge thing, and there's like a weird puzzle with floor pressure plates and whatnot. But you can actually just skip it if you just go on a staff character, do this, and then swap back very quickly. Look at that. Now, for the rest of this, you can basically just roughly follow my routing, trying to not stand still throughout the entire thing, because if you do, you're probably dead. And just hold W. Pretty much just hold W. That's all there is to it. As long as you're holding W, basically zigzagging as you run around, you'll be totally fine. It's really easy. You might be wondering, by the way, why the Anubis Sandblade? It's because it's easy to farm, quick to farm, and also it's a clone of the Calamity Blade, which is like, I'm pretty sure, the best in slot thing for these assault parts. Very quickly, for this middle crystal, careful of Dwayne. Going into it, Dwayne, you can see if he's there. Going out of it, a bit tougher because you have this guy blocking your path. So just keep an eye out for if Dwayne is there, because you don't want to get thrown off the map. Anyways, though, the Anubis Sandblade is just a copy of the Calamity Blade, but it's dropping from an easier map, and it shoots faster, it gives you movement speed, and even if it's like peak damage is lower, or DPS is lower than the Calamity Blade, it is at the same time just like way easier to farm and close enough to the quality that, you can use this to get yourself a Calamity Blade. Or just do Polybius, which is what we're doing. Now then, build-wise, even on Ruthless, what a lot of people do is they place down a Strength Drain Aura right here, like on that little railing, and then they go from there. But I don't trust my stats, so I'm going to place down a Strength Drain and a Slow Aura right there, and then a bunch of Owl Nest with a Buff Beam, because I am creatively bankrupt. I gotta say, though, doing Temple of Polybius, no, Temple of Anubis with a, Guardian, was really nice. Very awesome, just being able to ignore the Wyvern issue. I didn't have the best setup, because I think the best setup is like a bunch of Cloud Towers and a couple of Owl Nests, but even without my like amazing setup, or not my, but even without an amazing setup, I was able to do it in like, give or take 16 minutes from start to finish, which is pretty fast, pretty damn fast, considering I don't have crazy good gear and I don't have crazy good stats. I think it's pretty damn good. Alright, Super Legendary Monk time. By the way, the reason I have this skin equipped, for a couple of reasons, but mainly I just forgot to unequip it from the previous map I was doing. But it will also make our DPS a lot higher, which will help out with the Kraken. Not this wave, but next wave. As for this wave, just give this buff beam like 2 or 3 upgrades. Hell, that's probably enough, and then just tower boost here. Eventually an ogre will come by near you, and then you can just get the mana from him, and then after that, you're kind of just chilling big time USA. You don't really have to worry about that much. Just try and grab the mana crystals. Oh, also, don't get Dwayne'd. As far as I'm aware, if you die, it's over. Like, you gotta restart the whole thing. So, try not to die to the Dwayne here. Even if it's build phase, you still have to probably repeat the map, so best to avoid that, I say. Oh my god, wait, the Owl Nests are able to reach over here on their own. That's insane. Alright, well, that's something interesting. Alright, next up is going to be a Kraken, and you want to be in roughly this area of the map when you're starting out. You can do it on a Countess, or like a Squire, but I just have no real faith in it, so I'm... What the hell? What is going on? I never hit that before. But I just like to stay on the Monk and use my little wizard pet, even if it isn't the most efficient thing. You want to stay up there to grab his attention early on, and then try your best to dodge his little spikes. These are really tough to dodge when you're on Super Legendary skin, but get those tentacles down as soon as you can, and you should be a-okay. There are only 2 of them, which will make your life a hell of a lot tougher. But just kind of keep an eye on, out for which one is which one, and you should be fine. They don't have that much health, all things considered. So as long as you're being very proactive with your dodges, you'll live. Just try and dodge their spitballs, because those are really rough. I know there are probably better ways to do this, but this is the way that I do it. And I mean, it works well enough, right? So why bother changing? And of course, I'm only doing this map like once to just get my one completion of it, and then after that, I'm just gonna kind of chill out. And later on, we'll come back to do this on Ruthless. Ah, nasty water, nasty air. And look at that. Oh my god, my ears. Not so bad. Sometimes you get lucky, and the second Kraken just doesn't spawn. I had that happen once, and when that happens, it's it's a lot easier to do, but I mean, I managed it with 2 Krakens. You guys can manage it with 1. Or sometimes he gets, like, distracted by your owl nest. I don't really know. Next part. We're not doing the next wave because there's no point to it. What we have to do is... I mean, there's a puzzle down here, which I think they originally wanted you to do, but instead you can just fly on your summoner, jump up here, and then go up here. And if you're, like, super swag and skilled, you can just fly over this spike wall, but I don't want to risk it, so you just dump down... Orc minion, jump, hold spacebar. It's as simple as that. Now for the final part, we're going to go back onto this character. Oh yeah, did I show off her stats? I don't know if I did. This is the sword, crummy. This is the pet, crummy. These are the stats, all crummy. I haven't even upgraded her accessories because I don't want to commit towards one type of accessory over another. Just go up to this door, and then once you've gone to the door, once you've gone to that door, go over into this middle area, and that'll activate the thing. And from this point onwards, your biggest goal is to dodge the Spider Queen for the most part, and just use your Joust very well. Have your whatchamacallit up, call to arms, and you should be fine. Try and go on the edge hitbox of the bosses whenever you're jousting into them. And we want to kind of run into them with a lot of speed. At least in my experience, that seems to be what makes it a lot easier to consistently get a ton of fire dots on them. But focus down the middle guy, because the easiest... Oh my god, my ears. And then after that, you can choose between, the rest of the 3. But I personally go after the Demon Lord every time, because he's kind of a chump. Just do a little bit of this. And I think that might just kill him. Yeah, I stacked a ton of them there. That was awesome. Now all that's left is the Kraken and the Spider Queen. Me personally, I like to go after the Spider Queen. But you can really go with whatever. Careful of the Spider Queen, by the way. As far as I'm aware, if you're in close range with her, she'll deal like a crazy amount of damage. So try not to give her the opportunity. And of course, don't get webbed. Should go without saying, but look at that. Spider Queen is dead. And now all that's left is the Kraken. And this is where the Calamity Blade really shines, because it means that you can actually get the Kraken tentacles without putting yourself in too big of a danger zone. Very quickly, if your hero call to arms boost thing runs out, just back away. Keep your distance and wait till it comes back, because you take way more damage without it up than you do with it. So it's usually not worth the risk, especially that spitball thing. I'm not gonna say it'll one-shot you, but I will say I'm very afraid of it. But the moment that it's back up, you're kind of chilling, at least for the most part. You still get damaged, and things still hurt. It just, it hurts a lot less. I personally like going in first person for this part, because I find it's a lot easier to hit the tentacles that way. But whatever you find that works for you is the best way. Although I will admit, in first person, it is kind of a visual clusterfuck. Alright, just a few more shots, and then we'll have those arms down. And then once you have the arms down, it's like a complete cakewalk. Like, it's so free. It's kind of funny. Oh, don't stay in the fires. Those will annihilate you. Come on, let's get that last arm down, pal. There we go. And then you just do that. Oh, I'm surprised he actually loved that. Next up is going to be, I think, a turkey in the middle. And this guy, just... watch out for his, that. There's a kind of a pattern to him. Don't get, like, directly pecked, and you'll be fine. But even if you do, he doesn't deal that much damage. Just spam Joust on him whenever you can. There'll be a lot of mana crystals on the ground, so you should be able to keep up your abilities pretty efficiently. But even if they go down, of course, you can, as always, just leave and come back later. In fact, right now I'm gonna have, oops, I got hit there. I'm gonna have mine go down manually because I want to be ready for the next part. He did the overhead attack, and now he's gonna do the jump, and I'm gonna jump to counteract it. Overhead attack, and then probably a jump. Oh, no, another overhead attack. And then now a jump. Yeah. And then now that a call to arms is up, we're going to go back in and dodge the peck. Get a bunch of damage over time on top of him. Not quite enough to kill him, but still a great amount of damage. If you want, you can stay within melee range the entire time. I just find that it puts a lot of fire pits in the middle when you do that, so I prefer to avoid doing that. Anyways, I'm going to wait for the jump, and then go back in for the kill. You can right-click to block any damage that's coming in from a given direction. It's a very wide, like 180-degree block, so you really have a lot of room to work with. Now, for this next part, the Barbarian, I like taking him down first. He's kind of your priority number one, because he just deals a lot of damage, but your biggest priority number one is actually that Mage, because if he starts charging up a Mana Bomb, you got to make sure that he doesn't get the Mana Bomb off, because that means, well, it's over. But don't worry, you have a ton of time to react. And even though the Hawk stance is usually like a terrifying thing, in this instance, at least on Nightmare, it's not that bad. You can get away with just tanking it every once in a while. Pretty nice when it allows you to kill the Barbarian in a fairly efficient and fast manner. Although, if you get away too far from the Barb, he will start healing, so fair warning on that. We just lost our, boost, so I'm just going to go ahead and run away like a complete coward. You could just sit in a corner and tank, and we might do that. I'll show you guys that later on Mischief, but for the moment, I'm just going to run away like a coward and heal up whenever I get the opportunity to. The Huntress strats, they don't deal that much damage, but they can certainly stack up, especially when you don't have any call to arms going. But now that we have it back up, I'm going to go ahead and try and get the Squire in a good position and go after him. Alright, where is he? That seems to be okay. Try and make sure you're not in the fires. Again, he seems to be charging up now. I think it's like a minute timer before he like fully, releases his charge. So it's not that bad, especially on a Countess, because you can just do that. And yeah, now he's dead. So yeah, you can't block that beam thing as far as I'm aware. So even if, you're right-clicking, you got 100% block, he'll still kill you. So you do have to keep a complete eye on that. But everybody else, just try not to stay in the fires. If you get low, back away, and you should be fine. In fact, I'm going to display to you guys a funny little strategy that I have called not worrying about the game, where you just sit in this corner, and as long as you're holding right-click, nothing can kill you. And your pet will eventually heal you over time. Although I do admit, the fire stacking up on top of you is kind of awful. So make sure you don't let go of right-click until you have your boost back up. Or until the fires have dissipated a little bit. In this case, both of those things are true. So now I'm going to get my boost back up, and we're going to go back in. I think, where's the Squire? Is he healing? Yeah, he's healing. I probably let him heal a lot there. I shouldn't have. Oh yeah, I totally did. That's fine, though. It's just a bit of a time loss, but it's not like we're going to get killed by it. So it's really no big deal. There are better pets for this part, like the Desert Cupid, I think is, or Lover's Cupid as well. Those are both like really good pets, but I don't have them and I don't want to go farm for more stuff, so I just went with whatever I had lying around. That's pretty much this entire run, to be honest. It's just, I had this lying around and I wanted to do the map, and that's it. That's all that there is involved in this. I was lazy. Last character is going to be the, the Huntress, or Ranger, and not too bad. The Hawk damage is pretty bad, but as long as you have your boost going and you stay away from the fire pits, you'll be fine. Very quickly with the main middle guy, you can actually go ahead and take down these side pylons, and that'll give you a moment of a break from the boss, which is really, really nice at times, because the fireball damage, ow, it really does start stacking up after a while. Right now, we don't have our boost up, so it's a bit dangerous to go in on the, that character, so I'm just going to keep my distance. It's kind of wasting the free time we have for Polybius being stunned, but it's fine. At the end of the day, we have 30 minutes left, and we're just trying to get one completion to unlock True Boss Rush, so I'm not super concerned. Anyways, now we can go back in. If you get a situation like this, where you can actually, get a bunch of fire stacks on the thing, I recommend doing so, but A lot of the times you can't, so your best bet really is just kind of sitting close to the thing, or to the enemy, and spamming your sword. By the way, I tested it out, and this thing actually does more damage than the Calamity Blade for equal base damage. Oh yeah, okay, final part. We gotta get the boss down from the middle, so we're gonna stun it, and then we should be able to very, very easily kill it. By the way, well, words. On Nightmare, this is a lot easier than it is on Ruthless, because there's like way less enemies or way less amounts of bosses, variety of bosses, way less a lot of things. But on Ruthless, it's really, really tough, and I advise that you take as much caution as you can on Ruthless. We'll get there later, but trust me, you might think, oh, double rewards, let's go for it. No, 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 no. It's far more than double difficulty. But we are done. Except we're not. There's actually going to be an extra boss. But for this guy, I'm going to show you guys a little shortcut hotkey. Press Control and then Z on your keyboard. That will enable running towards the enemy that you're trying to melee. So if I do this, yeah, look at that. I'm not holding W. It just did that on its own. And that's pretty useful, especially in groups, for this next boss. As long as you have your call to arms going, you can kind of just tank the shit out of them for the most part. So that's what we're going to go for. There will be a Harbinger in the middle later on, so just keep an eye out for that. But there he is. We're just going to stay in his meat the entire time, as much as we can. He'll shoot the fireballs, but they'll usually go through us. And if ever we got into a big problem with him, we have an ultimate cheese that he has no answer to, called holding right click and then just waiting in a corner, because he can't do anything about it. By the way, be very careful of that middle area. That Harbinger damage will stack up quite a bit. It's pretty damn nasty. But of course, if you have walk towards melee target enabled, let's run away. You'll be able to deal with him without too much worry. And then of course, if you don't want to go back in, then just Control Z to disable it. But yeah, try and not stay in fire pits or anything like that. I wouldn't really go deep for any kind of whatchamacallit. I wouldn't really just recommend going deep for a joust, but you can. I think it's better to just, let the boss deal with itself for the most part. Now at this point, I'm going to just go ahead and run in this corner, have that go down, and then just hold right click, because I'm pretty sure he's going to go into melee distance and then just die on his own. We just got to keep holding right click on him and we'll be fine. I didn't have to do this, I just wanted to show it to you guys because I think it's really cool. Just keep yourself facing the direction of the boss, and there will be no problems whatsoever. And of course, without Call to Arms, you deal a lot less damage with your pet, but, you get mana for free just for existing on this map, so eventually you'll get it back, and then you can kill him fairly fast. I think we can get super low on HP, he runs away from you or something, but doesn't matter. We are done with Temple of Polybius. Isn't that neat? I think that's neat. You get a couple of things from here. Mainly, you get the Mischief Maker and Kraken Cannon. And, well, looks like I didn't get too lucky on them. But these are potentially, or no, not potentially, these are objectively the best both ranged monk weapon and at the same time stat weapons for any classes that can use them. For example, this thing right here, if you get an ultimate plus one, you can get one. I think it's like a 1 in 300k or something like that, that has all 999 in all the tower stats. And of course, it's also a very good DPS weapon. In fact, this one, despite the fact that it has negative hero damage, I might keep it just to show you guys. And the Kraken Cannon, it's stats. It's just stats. That's the only use that it has, as far as I'm aware, at least. I think it does get some decent damage, yeah, base damage per upgrade, but it's nothing amazing. Defensive Polybius, whatever Polybius you get. I don't know the whole shtick between these, but I think they're just guardians that roll better. I don't know, can you upgrade their resistances better or something? Or not resistances, their boosts? Because I know normally you can't upgrade the boost past 20. So if you can upgrade these things boost past 20, that'd be nice. I think in the past, the maximum number of boosted targets... Oh, you can, look at that. The maximum number of boosted targets used to be like a bit higher on this, +6, and it was +5 for regular guardians, but they changed it so that they're both equal now. So all these really do at this point is have higher stat rolls than guardians, and you can upgrade them in case you get one with crazy side stats, but you don't get one with enough boosts. But yeah, Polybius is done. And now we can move on to the real thing that I'm here for. Boss rush. Well, not yet, but in a second. True boss rush. A bit late of my realization, but because we have done Polybius, we have done every single map required to unlock Eternal Defender, that big trophy upstairs, which means I can actually go over here and we can finally equip all of these accessories. Look at that. They're just really good accessories. That's pretty much all there is to say about them. I mean, they're not... like, theoretically, you could get, like, an ultimate or something accessory for a couple of these that would have better stats in one of the stats, but these are undeniably the best accessories in the game, just, like, in general. But to be honest, other than the party hat and the celebration horn, you're probably better off using the accessory set that you get on a DPS character, because, I mean, the bracers... I already have something that breaks the bracers in my range. And I know this one isn't particularly great, but I could get one that's like roughly comparable without that much difficulty. And of course, it would have like 200 higher range or whatever primary stat I want. Okay, that was a lot closer. A lot closer than I wanted it to be. Oh. Alright, we should get a new thing at the end here. That's like you've opened up a funky portal or something. Oh. Yes. Oh, fuck. Jesus Christ. Hello. Okay, basically this is just a beefed up old one. He's just really tough to fight. There's not really much else to say. I'm going to go in doing a little something funky, which I'll probably do a lot more in the future, but I'm going to be swapping out my Eternal set with whatever I have equipped on a given character to make them a lot more tanky and generally survivable. Because, goddamn. Ooh. Still pretty bad. Alright, I don't expect to finish this on the first attempt, but we'll give it a good old college attempt, you know? We'll do one of those. Minions are tougher, everything's tougher, and my game audio just bugged like crazy. Ooh. Legendary. Oh, does it not? Oh, that's funny. You have to restart yourself. Well, but basically he's just a bigger version of the old one. He's he ability spams like crazy. There's a lot more minions around, particularly these guys who suck big nuts. And it just sucks. That's all there really is to say about it. It just kind of sucks. But if you want to re-challenge it at any point from now on, I think all you have to do is just restart the map, and then all you got to do is go to the same funky crystal thing, and you can re-challenge him as many times as your heart desires. And you do have to get one finish on him, one kill on him to actually unlock the challenge. So the challenge being true boss rush, for the record. I'll give him a couple more good old college attempts. And my ears, there's weird audio going on here. Oh yeah, did I mention that the shots from the minions deal like 1 trillion damage? Because they do. They deal a lot now. And every time you go up a phase, you get all... Ow, 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 what the fuck? I didn't know there were Harbingers. You get all of your HP back, along with a bit of a refresher on your mana, which is pretty nice. Oh, also, he has generic resistance to like everything. And that middle beam now actually does decent damage, so you have to dodge it. The best hero to do this on, from everything I've seen, is just a Squire. But I don't got none of that. Or I don't have a good one yet. So I'll have to level up my Countess to be able to do that. Or not Countess, my Squire. It really is like a Squire thing, not a Countess doable. I'll probably grind a Squire up to 100, unfortunately. I will have to do grinding and XP farming to be able to move on. But yeah, it's otherwise mostly just the same old one fight. You know, a bit faster paced for sure, but nothing beyond that. Of course, the minions are also awful, but, you know, we're not... Who's counting, right? One strategy that some people do is they keep exclusively the, whatchamacallits alive. They keep exclusively the archers alive on one side of the map. That way they don't have to deal with any super tough enemies. Like the Shins, who are awful. Or the orcs. There's a lot of things, but you can avoid pretty much all of them if you just focus on one specific thing. Or type of enemy. Hey, is that timer like a hard cap? No, I saw some people do a strategy where they just like sit in his face. Is that something I can do? No, wow. Turns out I can. Stank breath. Alright. And he stole all of my mana. Oh, did he just completely cancel my... No. I just don't get to do my abilities now. That's awful. You're the worst. A Cupid here is really nice. So we'll get one of those in the future. Ah! Woo! Nope, our abilities are back. Firebending is back on. Alright, cool. Okay, so this is so far a lot easier than I thought it would be. Don't want any gold guys. Dodge his nasty shot. Stay away from the middle. That was really rough. Well, that was almost even more rough. I think I got healed here, right? Yeah. I'll get rid of some of the minions just for a second. Ow. Oh yeah, that. Oh no, I can't use my abilities, guys. Whatever will I do? Except the same shit I was doing before. It's not like I was able to use my abilities anyways. Dude, this is really just ability spam, isn't it? God, dude, get a new move. Is this last one just like no abilities and that's the whole gimmick? I wouldn't be surprised if it was. Nice. A regular footstop attack. Jesus. Didn't think we were allowed any of those. Are those minions dealing... Oh my god, 26k damage. That's a lot. Ooh. Uh-oh. That's pretty bad. Ooh. Nice. You think that means that we're gonna lose because the crystal's going now? We'll see. It'd certainly suck if that was the case. So yeah, we just don't get abilities now. That's awful. Ow. Oh, wow. I'd be lying if I said my heart rate isn't like 150 beats per minute. I can actually feel it beating through my fingertips right now. Neat. That's pretty neat. Okay. Well, we have done Great Old One. I did not expect to do that in this video, but we did. And as a reward, you get this, which I don't know why you can sell it when you wouldn't want to sell it. I don't know if it's a one-time reward or not, but look at that. 1.25 movement speed. The stats aren't great, obviously. They're not anything amazing. But that movement speed, I think on a couple of maps like Tavern Invasion, it's key. It's very, very important. So the fact that we have this is pretty nice. And of course, I think now we can just go into the tavern and look over here. Oh my god. We can do true boss rush, guys. Oh, big, big. Okay. Well, I'm gonna go make sure that I don't have a heart attack, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video where we'll be doing true boss rush.